Joining me today is Francis Gauthier, who's a New Hampshire representative from the Claremont area. Francis, rather than say District 3, for the rest of our viewers, I sort of said Claremont. We all know where that is.
Yes.
You know, I know one of the big issues that you're focusing on is sort of education and funding, really. I know you're on the municipal and county committee.
Yes.
And so there's, you know, we'd say, well, what's education having to do with municipal and county governance? Well, a lot, as we connect the federal Washington to Concord to our local school districts. But I just want to start out with sort of what are the core issues that you see that sort of guide your thought process around thinking about the role of the state in education, the role of local school boards in education, and then the funding?
What I see is the Croydon case. I think that's going to be a bench watermark, if you will.
Can I time out here quick?
Yep.
Just for the viewers that aren't familiar with the Croydon case, can you just summarize it quickly from your vantage point?
Well, the Croydon case is from in Croydon, New Hampshire,
which is a small little school district,
yeah, small little town, and they want to take and because they don't have their own really school district, let's say.
Well, for high school especially,
yeah.
is the issue. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what they want to do is they want to be able to send their kids to the school that they think is going to be the best fit for them.
And by they, you mean the parent talking with the school board saying, my son or daughter will perform better at school A versus school B?
Yes.
And some of those schools are private and some are public?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so my belief is that school choice should be like a free market system where you know, you find the schools and the curriculum best for your child, be that if it's a technical education they're going for or a 4-year college. And so I think that's the best way to go here in New Hampshire.
So just to get back to the Croydon case, my memory is always a little vague, but correct me if I get this wrong. Croydon tried to send a student to a private school because that was the best fit, the school board.
Yes.
And tuition that school in.
Yes.
They were sued by the state of New Hampshire,
yes,
blocking their transfer of funds from the public to the private.
Yes.
And the state said you either have to educate them or transfer them to another public school.
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that private school was not affiliated with a religious, it was a non-religious,
yes,
maybe
I
a
believe
Montessori
so.
or something, I can't remember the specifics.
Yeah, something like that.
So the issue, really the crux of the legal issue is that sort of transfer of funds. How do you think that's going to shape the future of education?
Well, I think when you have competition between the public school and the private school sectors, I think it's going to make a better product in the public school, because then if the public school wants to have more customers come to their organization, and then it's just like America, is that you make a better product. The better product prevails. Free market system.
So let me ask this. What about the people who say, wait a second, we play by different rules? The public school system plays by one set of rules that the private schools don't have to play by. Is that an uneven playing field?
Yes.
In terms of the regulatory environment?
Yes, I would say so. I would say we would all have to play under the same rules.
And how do the private schools, have you talked to people in the private school, do they want to play under that?
No, I haven't really spoke with anybody from the private schools but to me it makes common sense.
Is getting the rules the same, lowering or changing the rules so that, or is it, if the private schools have less regulations, the public schools have greater regulations, is it forcing the regulations onto the public schools or lowering the regulations forcing the regulations on the private, or decreasing the regulations from the public? What makes sense to you?
What makes sense to me is to come halfway down here, the field here.
Yeah.
Is that if you have the right and the left, we need to moderate toward the center.
Okay.
This is what's happened in our nation is that there's too much entrenchment and too much pendulum swing from right to left, as what we need to do is to come back toward them and moderate toward the center line.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to stop you there.
Yep.
There's a lot more here. And when we return, we're going to continue our conversation on education. So please stay with us.